So I've had an amazing response to my first video about running a 2:24 marathon at the age of 42, only 3.5 years after I started running. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out on my channel because this is part 2 of that. Because of the response I've had so many questions, and I wanted to use this video to answer some of the questions that I had. If you don't know and you're not going to bother going and watching the other video, my name is Patrick Martin, and in April this year, I ran the London Marathon in 2 hours, 24 minutes and 31 seconds. I'm 42 years old, and I started running 3.5 years before. So I've got a list of questions that people have asked me in the comments, or that people have been asking me a lot, and a lot of the same sort of questions come up. So I've got them written down here, so I'm just going to go through them and answer them. The first one is, did I have an athletic background before I started running? The answer to that is no. I played football when I was a kid, that's soccer. So from the ages of 10 to about 14, I played football. And then I played tennis a bit from 14 to 18, I think, or 16, wasn't 16 or 18. And then didn't really do anything, went to university, didn't play any sport, didn't do anything physical at all. And then throughout my 20s, I always tried to stay in shape. I used to go to the gym. I'd occasionally go on the odd run, but nothing, no endurance training, nothing competitive. But I did stay in generally good shape. And then in my 30s, I started playing tennis quite a bit. So I'd end up probably at the most playing 3 times a week in my late 30s. And I think that really helped with my aerobic fitness. And that helped me give me a bit of a good start for when I first started running. I had that fitness there. And then when I started running, there's a few things I did. I think they helped me get off to a good start. Things like hill sprints, hill running, which I've only just realised made a big difference. I was looking back at my training and my Strava. I realised I did so much hill work at the beginning, and that helped me get fast, quick. I think that's one of the key things. Another thing is consistent mileage, which I've talked about a lot. Someone commented on one of my videos that I must be a genetic freak. Well, it's not really a question, but a lot of people have said that, oh, he's just genetically, he's got the right genes, he was meant to run. And I think that is true in many ways. I think genetically, I obviously have an ability to run fast. I've got the right kind of body type, or whatever it is. That is definitely true, but it's also true that I put in a lot of work on top of that as well. If you see my video that I released recently about the 7 months of 100-mile weeks, and I was running 100-mile weeks for 7 months consistently, and then before that I was running a lot of mileage as well. And I'd be getting up at 5 in the morning, and running at 5 in the morning, running again in the evening, running early on a Sunday morning. I was putting in the work as well. So yes, I've got the genetic advantages, but I also put in the work, and there's no way that my genetic advantages, or whatever it is that helps me get faster, would have been any help to me if I hadn't put in the work as well. So I honestly think it's a bit of a cop-out when people say, oh, I can't do that, I can't get anywhere near that because I haven't got the genetic ability. I think, yes, some people aren't going to be able to run as fast as me because they don't have partly the genetics, but you can definitely get to a good level wherever you're at by working hard and being consistent. And when I say work as well, I mean you've got to enjoy it. It's not really work. I love going out running. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. So that is part of it as well. I made sure that I enjoyed the process of running. Another question is, do I have a coach? No, I haven't got a coach. I know how to coach. I just read books and learned myself how to run fast. And then just practiced the things I've read and learned, and gone out and being consistent and run a lot. Am I doing performance enhancing drugs? The answer to that is a definite no. If I wanted to use some performance enhancing drugs, I'm not even sure where I'd begin getting them from. And also, what is the point? For me, I'm just challenging myself. I'm pushing myself to see what I can achieve. If I was to cheat, then what is the point? I'm not proving my ability. I'm not testing my own ability. it's something else that's making me fast. So it just seems completely pointless. I love testing myself to see what I can do and how fast I can run. If I was to cheat and use PEDs, then it's completely pointless. So 100% no, and I never will, and I don't understand why people would want to use them. Another question is, it seems like I don't do much speed training. Yeah, that is right compared to other runners who have run the sort of times I've run in the marathon. I don't do a lot of speed work. I do add it in sometimes, so I'll add speed work into a normal steady pace run. So towards the end of a normal steady pace run, I might run for 2 minutes at fast pace, then rest for a minute, and then run 2 minutes fast again. And so add them into my daily training probably once a week. And then sometimes I will go and do dedicated speed work, but not very often. Like in the run up to the London Marathon, I think I did 4 or 5 speed sessions in 5 months. So not at all. I focused on building up a base and just consistently ran lots of mileage. I think speed is really important. I think it's important to know what your race pace feels like and to run fast often, so you're used to that pace. But I don't do it as much as potentially I should. Then I think that helps with reducing the amount of injuries that I've got over time. How do I fit it all in? Good question, but a lot of that comes down to running early in the morning. It's like I say, 5 a.m. starts, running in the evening, running early on a Sunday. But I've got a wife and kids at home who want to do things and have a normal life, so I can't just run whenever I want. So I have to try and fit it in around that, and that's it. It takes a bit of figuring out what works best for you. And for me, I found early mornings, evenings, and just fitting it around family life. Sometimes it's difficult, but if you really want to do it, you can fit running that much mileage in. How many miles a week do I run? So in the lead up to the London Marathon, I was running 100 miles a week plus. Generally, I'll run 70, 80 miles a week, or just on a normal standard week if I'm fit and everything's good. But in the training block for London, 100 miles plus a week. I think my peak was 135 miles, and you can see that on some of the videos that I've released before. What's my nutrition like? My nutrition is very, very standard, very basic. I don't do anything ultra healthy. I just eat a normal kind of balanced diet. It's very boring. I can't give you any special secrets about how to run fast at 42. I don't have anything special in there. Actually, I don't skip things that might traditionally be seen as bad for runners. In the lead up to London, I was eating a lot of chocolate, for example. I'd be so hungry, I'd end up eating chocolate. One of the things I did do to try and stop any bad habits is to eat things like nuts, because nuts have got lots of fats, lots of nutrition, they fill you up quickly. So that really helped when I got hungry, just to eat a handful of nuts. But other than that, I don't do too much nutrition-wise. I'd always run my faster runs, so the morning steady run, on an empty stomach. For me, it just felt right. I don't like running on a full stomach. I'd get stomach issues, and a lot of the races, pretty much all the races are in the morning. So if you get used to running in the morning, get used to running on an empty stomach, then I think you can't really go wrong with that. And actually, I didn't eat. You might have seen a previous video of mine, but before the London Marathon, the last meal or last food I ate was the day before at 6 p.m. and I didn't eat anything after that. So in the morning of the London Marathon, I didn't eat any breakfast. I didn't take any gels. I didn't take any gels with me on the run, and that's very unusual for a runner who's running 2:24 or higher in the marathon. I carried one gel with me in the race, but I didn't take it at all. So that's quite unusual for people running the sort of times that I'm running. But I've just trained my body not to need to take on any fuel in a race. Probably over time I could train myself to start to take fuel, because I think it's useful to be able to take fuel in a race, to be able to take gels and energy drinks to help you, especially in the last bits of a race, the last 10k or so of a marathon. It would really help, but I've just trained my body not to need that. I don't even take on any water in the marathon. I don't take water when I go training. Why would I need to in a race? I didn't feel thirsty, so I didn't ever take any water. like I say, I had a gel with me just as kind of security, because, you know, everyone else takes gels. So it seems a bit weird that I'm not, but that's just what I did. Another unusual thing I did in my running. What shoes do I run in? So in the race, I ran in the Vaporfly 2s, which I find absolutely amazing. I got a brand new pair for the London Marathon, and they're brilliant. And in my training, I've just released a video a couple of weeks ago about the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3s, which I ran pretty much all my mileage in before London. I just love them. They work for easy pace runs, steady pace runs, and the faster pace runs that I do. And they're really, really durable. I found them to be brilliant. So I recommend them. I'm not affiliated with Saucony or Nike, but I've just found those shoes to be brilliant. I don't rotate my shoes. I know some people run their easy runs in a certain pair of shoes and their steady, faster runs in another pair of shoes. And they do that because it's probably better that your feet get used to. Your feet don't get used to the same shoes, and maybe there's potential for injury there. I'm not sure, but I just found I love using those shoes. As usual with me, I'm a creature of habit, and if I find something I like, I stick to it. If I find something that works, I stick to it, and that's exactly what I did with them. And I ran in the same pair of shoes as well throughout the training for the London Marathon. I only got a new pair of the Endorphin Speed 3s right just before the race, only because I felt like I should, because I'd run so many miles in them. But actually, I probably could have run a lot more miles in the Endorphin Speed 3s, which I do explain in that video. So go and check that out if you're interested. Do I have any tips for people trying to run faster? As I said before, run lots of consistent high mileage. It's the number one thing that will get you faster. Your body just adapts and becomes a better runner, gets used to running. You build up your aerobic base and your aerobic endurance, you build up your strength. It's by far the thing that it's by far the most important thing that I did in my running, to run that time. And I was incredibly consistent with it. I also think that running up hills is really important. And as I've looked back on my training, I found that at the beginning, I ran a lot of hills and a lot of hill sprints. And that's what took me from not quite zero, but, a low base and not much running experience, well, no running experience really, to be able to run fast 5Ks, then 10Ks, then half marathons, and then marathons. So a mixture of consistency, high mileage, and some hills. I think if you can get all those things and mix them all up and enjoy your running, so important to enjoy your running, then you'll get faster, whatever race, it's 5K, 10K, half, and marathon. Another question is, what's my next goal? My next goal is to run a 2:20 marathon. I'm injured at the moment. I've got high hamstring tendonitis, which is really annoying and keeping me out of running. If some of you have followed me on Strava, please do follow me on Strava if you haven't already. But people who follow me on Strava and wonder why I'm not running. I'm doing lots of cycling at the moment to hopefully give the hamstring a bit of a rest. It's been a couple of months now that I'd really be able to run properly and run as much as I'd like. So hopefully once I get clear of that, I get back to being able to run consistently, then I'd love to run a 2:20 marathon. I'm going to share all my training for that on this channel. So please like and subscribe, and you can follow along with that. And I can't wait to get back to training for another marathon. If there's anything I haven't covered in this video, any other questions you've got, just let me know in the comments. I can't think of anything right now. I can't find anything else in the comments that a lot of people have asked. But if there is, just let me know, and be more than happy to answer in the comments. And if there's enough questions, I'll do another video like this. But thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe the video if you found this interesting, or if you found any of my content interesting. Really helps the channel. And see you in my next video.